0.3, 2 millimeters, 1.5 millimeters, 5 millimeters? Which needle length is the right needle length for hair loss to use as the derma-roller on your scalp? We'll be learning about each needle length and their use. We're going to look at studies and look at the needle length that they use. And at the end of the video, I'm going to be recommending the right needle length that you should be using for your hair loss. Hello, my name is Imane. Welcome back to my channel. I am a hair loss survivor. I've survived it. I'm a survivor. I'm all gonna make it. I suffer from androgenetic alopecia, and over the past year my hair loss has really improved. I'm revisiting this topic because I have a derma roller video on my channel, but I've been using the 0.5 millimeters and I've had good results. I've been doing more research and I wanted to share that with you guys. The thickness of our scalp and its subcomponents is influenced by age, gender, and the degree of balding. But in general, our scalp is 5 to 6 millimeters thick. That's a lot of scalp. One thing to remember about the needle length is as you increase the needle length, so does the pain. The pain also increases. So the question is, can you handle the pain? We're gonna find out. All the derma rollers will be linked in my description, so check it out. The scalp consists of the epidermis, which is the uppermost layer of your scalp, which is 0.25 to 0.5 millimeters thick. Also, one thing to note is the 0.5 millimeters, you can use this every other day. And for that uppermost layer, the 0.25 to 0.5 millimeters is going to help to absorb the topical treatments that you use on your scalp. Like I have been using 0.5 millimeters in conjunction with the rosemary essential oil, which has been proven to stimulate hair growth, and that's been working for me. So mixing all the different oils and essential oils that you need can be hard, so that's why I'm launching my very own hair growth elixir. I've been working really hard behind the scenes on this. We'll be sourcing cold pressed organic oils to stimulate hair growth and stop hair loss, and this has been working for me, so I want to share it with you guys. So if you want to be the first to know when I launch, sign up using the link in the description. Exciting times! I'll be honest with you, anything below 0.5 millimeters or below 0.3 millimeters, don't even bother buying it, wasting your money. It's not gonna have any result. You're not gonna see the results that you are after. So the dermis is below the epidermis, and that is where the hair bulb, the hair follicle meets the blood flow, blood supply. Now to reach this lower layer, you need 1 to 1.5 millimeters derma roller needle length. The 1 millimeter you can use once a week. The 1.5 millimeters you can also use once a week or 1 to 3 weeks, depending on how your scalp fares. So there's a few things here. So blood flow is really important. So going down to the deeper levels of the dermis is going to have more of a stimulative effect than just going to the epidermis. It's going to increase the growth factors produced by your scalp and then therefore increase the growth. So it's going to have a more impactful effect on your hair loss. So scalp calcification is a thing. I'm going to do a dedicated video on it, but you have a buildup of dandruff, of skin cells, of product buildup. So you want to have a longer needle length to get past all of that on your scalp. One thing to note about the 1.5 millimeters is that it very hurts. Very hurt. It hurts a lot. There's gonna be more bleeding, and that's because you're going to the lower layers of the dermis. Now, avoid anything above 1.5 to 2 millimeters. That's gonna cause you damage. You do not wanna go past the subcutaneous layer. Now, subcutaneous layer is very difficult to pronounce because sub and cut are next to each other. Okay, so I found out what subcutaneous layer means, and it's basically our fat. Only professionals should be using needle lengths above that threshold. So the 0.5 to the 1.5 millimeters, such derma rollers are the most effective against hair loss. Specifically, the 1 to 1.5 millimeter derma roller is going to get deeper into the scalp. These needle lengths are going to be more effective at initiating the regeneration process to speed up results. So you're going to see faster results. And looking back, if I used the longer needle length, I think I would have seen results a lot more faster than what I've seen today. So let's look at the studies. 3 studies use use the 1.5mm Derma-roller. So let's look at their results. So here we go. These are the results, and the results speak for themselves. Pretty awesome. Their results are super amazing. One thing to note is the first group just used minoxidil, the other group used derma-rollering and minoxidil. Now, I'm a natural girly. I only like natural, effective methods. Rosemary essential oil has been proven to be as effective as minoxidil, but without the side effects. I would not recommend using minoxidil because there's a lot of side effects, it's bad for your health, and why not use rosemary essential oil? It's cheaper and it's just nicer overall for the well-being of the planet. There's a couple of things worth mentioning, which is the depth of penetration. Now, the other studies used 1.2mm and 0.6mm, but their objective was to cause bleeding, whereas the 1.5mm studies, their objective was for the scalp to go red. I would see this as putting more pressure on the lower needle length so that it goes in further, reaching the same amount as where the 1.5mm would reach. So the pressure and the way that you want to do this is you want to make the scalp go red, and if there's bleeding, that is not the end of the world, but make sure you're not profusely bleeding and there's blood coming out like a volcano. Don't do that. Just to give you some background, right now I am using the 1mm Derma-roller, and the pain versus the 0.5mm is significantly more than the 0.5mm. But what I'm doing is I want to start off with the 1mm and then work my way up to the 1.5mm. So bottom line, what is my recommendations? Let's get to it. This is really important. Get a notepad, write this down, okay? So first things first, you wanna be needling once a week. This has been shown to be clinically effective. Other recommendations for the number of times to use a derma-roller has been anecdotal and generally unsubstantiated. So the needle length that you should be using is the 1.5mm derma-roller. The studies all use the 1.5mm derma-roller. It's gonna penetrate enough to get to your dermis, especially if you have hair like me. When you have hair as well, it's gonna need a longer needle length to get past your hair and into the right area to stimulate hair growth. Now, if you're gonna be using the 1.5mm, you're gonna see great results, but as I said, the pain threshold is gonna be a lot more than the 0.5mm derma-roller, and that's why I'm working my way up. If you wanna do it that way, but I would personally just go straight for it and get the 1.5mm. I'm using the 1mm right now, and I'm applying enough pressure so that it really does get down to the dermis level. I'll be honest with you, it does hurt a lot, but that's why I'm building up my pain threshold so that I'll get to a point where it's not gonna hurt as much. So another thing worth noting is that all of the studies were done on people who suffered from androgenetic alopecia. For me as well, I suffer from androgenetic alopecia. Derma-rolling is not going to work for everyone, but the studies, the research, the results that people have gotten, it is definitely worth a try, even if you don't have AGA and you have another type of hair loss. So once you've got your derma-roller, what you want to do is you want to go over each section 10 times, and you want to make sure that the area that you're working over is red. You want to go over it enough times so that the area goes red. Now on the derma-roller, there is a finger rest, so you can use the pressure of your finger to slowly push down and roll on your scalp. That helps with the pain, and it helps to close your eyes, because when I close my eyes, I feel like the pain is less. Try it. If you want to learn more about how to beat hair loss and all things hair growth, make sure to check out my How to Beat Hair Loss playlist. And remember, stay safe, kids. If you've got any questions, let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to try and answer all of your questions.